Well, hello to all my friends out there on the interwebs and everybody else as well who happens upon this. I'm Dakian. This is Monday the 8th of October 2018 when I'm recording this. And I'm here to ramble about miniatures and all these guys that I've finished this week. I have been incredibly productive, it seems, but that is caused by painting really simple minis. The truth is, I've had very few days to paint the past week. I was gone on I was traveling to a conference for almost half of the week, 3 days out of 7, and I just managed to whip these out in the remaining time. And what are they? Well, first off, it's all the crawling claws. There's 7 of these in different shapes. This is the more advanced version that is showing some more wounds with bones and the like. And then there's a simpler version which is just a hand, and I've tried to make it come alive. Well, I've added blood effects and gore and the like just to make it seem more interesting. But the actual sculpt is not that advanced. There's 7 of these because, well, I bought a pack of 6, and then one came with one of the character models. I thought it was some sort of other pet at first, but it turned out to be just another crawling claw. Just another claw. And let's see, I think there's 2 of these were advanced, and they're actually mirror images. That's interesting. They're not exactly, they're sort of the same sculpt, but they're flipped. So one's a lefty and one's a righty. And the rest of them, I think, are all the same. Well, not much to say about those, really. Then there's the flaming green skulls, where I've tried to accentuate the green a little bit, adding, I don't know if you can even tell that there's different sort of levels to the green. There's some yellow in the crevices and in the eyes. I think it all sort of disappears. Because I didn't want to cover up the translucent plastic too much, I had to use very thin layers of translucent paint. And of course that doesn't cover very well, so oh well, I don't know. I think you need strong lights to see anything on these. But the white was just to make the skulls pop themselves. And yeah, they all look pretty much the same. Nothing really to say about them. And then there's 2 skeletons, which I decided to paint with bronze gear. They're very ancient skeletons from some sort of bronze age. And I just freehanded some sort of random device onto this shield. Don't know if you can even tell what it is. It's just some lines. And yeah. And again, I think I've mentioned this before. I find it incredibly funny that this skeleton is trying to blow a horn. I mean, I can understand. A skeleton can play a percussion instrument or a string instrument, but you can't have a skeleton playing a wind instrument. It's not going to work for obvious physical reasons. Anyway. This is what I got done. I focused on these because I knew that I didn't have much time and I needed to do something simple and fast. And I got them out. And yeah, and I don't know if you can tell, I tried to do some verdigris on the bronze. Maybe on the spear here you can tell. Perhaps a little bit on the helmet. I don't know if I should have done more. But, well. Let's move on to works in progress.
So what else is going on? Well, I have to unfortunately say not a whole lot. As I might have mentioned, this has been a week of busily doing other stuff except painting. Now, I've worked some on the base. Just the ground texture of this. And I forgot to... I started doing this skull that I placed on the base at the same time as I did the skeletons. And then I forgot to finish it. I missed some steps of the dry brushing here. Oh well, we'll get to that later. Here I used some of the sort of brass color I had mixed up to just paint in all her armor / clothing. Some of this I'm going to cover up with some other color because I decided it's like the straps here on her breasts are probably cloth, not metal. And there's some straps here on the arms that should be leather or something like that, not metal. But it's easy enough to fix. I just wanted to give it an overall sort of splash of this color to see what it looks like. And the wizard, no, nothing new. So we have these 3 completely new minis. This guy turned out to be not a human sci-fi soldier, but some sort of alien. He's got like 2 toes, 2 fingers, and presumably a thumb. Yeah, he's got a thumb and 2 fingers. And some weird sort of head. I thought it was a helmet, but it's his head actually. Maybe some sort of lizard pen. I don't know. We'll see what we do with that. Here we have a... this looks like a terrier. I don't know if it's a little Scottish terrier, or if it's whatchamacallit, that other kind. That's a lighter color. Scottish terriers are black, but there's another variant that has... yeah, it's not a Scottish because the head is too small, so it's that other kind that is a lighter color. I'll look it up, what they're called. But he's got a really big bone that he's found. That's fun. And so we have this model, which is named Hela. And I wondered why at first, until I started to... I got some primer on her and could see the detail. In many depictions of the goddess Hel, or Hela, in Norse mythology, she's depicted as having 2 sides. Like one side of her, she's split down the middle, and one side of her is alive and the other is dead. And this is what they've gone for here. So from this side, we have a normal looking, rather beautiful female face. On this side, it sort of fades into a sort of a skull. And the clothing is more tattered on the dead side, so to speak. So yeah, because I was mixing up these brass and bronze colors, I decided to start showing the divide with that. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what sort of inspiration I get from it. I mean, it might be, possibly I'll do something really stark, like having the live side of her hair be black and the dead side be white. That could be something. That could, you know, that would immediately give you a visual clue. Even if you're seeing the model from a distance, you get some sort of idea, oh, something's up with this character. Yeah, probably I'll do that. Anyway, that's the current crop of models.
So the question I got to ask myself is this the time to start a new project? Of course it is. It's always time to start new projects. And I got to thinking, I just painted all these creepy crawlies, the flame skulls, the skeletons, the crawling claws, undead, spooky monsters. It's October. I mean, Halloween is coming up. I gotta do something Halloween themed, and in a way I already have, but why not start laying the groundwork for even more, to start up some new scary Halloween themed minis now that could be finished by the time Halloween comes around, maybe. And what better than to do than pick out these 2 minis, which are Reaper's Halloween Night and All Hallows Eve. You'll notice these names are puns. I love a good pun. I got these last year. I actually ordered them for last year's Halloween, but they didn't arrive in time for it, so I saved them, and now I can do something with them. Perhaps. Now these 2 are rather intricate models. I hope I can do them justice. I hope I have the time before the end of the month. But I'm just not going to start just these 2. I scoured my unpainted minis for other stuff, and oh,
because I ordered during the month of October last year with these two monster Halloween themed minis in the same order, I got this as a bonus, which is a sort of a monster, a kind of a ghost in translucent green bones. So let's do something with this. And that's not all. I pulled out of a box these. These are from, I want to say Foundry Miniatures, but it's not. It's one of their spin-off lines. They've changed in the past couple of years so that the Foundry website only sells historical minis, mostly I think, and the sci-fi and fantasy stuff were spun off to sort of separate, semi-separate companies. What was it called? Is it Warmonger Miniatures? Something like that. That has the fantasy stuff. And so these are skeletons. This is an undead sort of skeleton king or warlord on something on a skeleton horse. And this, it might be difficult to see with all the little pieces, but it's another skeleton king on a palanquin, on a sort of being. He's got a little throne, and it's on this platform, and there's rods there, and you have bearers, skeleton bearers, carrying him along. So that's a slightly more complex model. And finally, there's a really complex model here. Tons of pieces, which is a chariot, a skeleton chariot, with skeleton horses and skeleton charioteers, and the skeleton itself isn't. The chariot itself isn't a skeleton; it's wood, but you know, you get the idea. So this one is possibly going to be a very complex build. I don't know. It looks like a lot of moving pieces, or not moving as such, but stuff that has to fit together, and there are no instructions, so I'll have to figure it out all on my own. I think I'll manage. And yeah, so I'm not promising that all of this will be prepped by next week. This is sort of my project for the rest of the month. So I'm not gonna rush it. I'll prep as much as I need to and I have time for. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to this. I think it's gonna be fun. And this week's mail call is, well, I ripped off the label, but it's from Heresy Miniatures, and what it contains is, candy! The most important thing of all. No, not really. I wish they wouldn't put this in here. It's going to lead to me eating this, and I don't need the sugar. Oh well. Anyway, here we have a couple of miniatures from Heresy. It's not really why I placed an order with them, but let's show you these first. This is a Cyclops, and this is another Cyclops, a slightly smaller Cyclops, and metal. The bigger one is resin, because it would be too heavy and unwieldy in metal. I just thought they were interesting monsters. It's just two models, because what I really wanted was bases. This is supposed to be 150 25mm slaughter bases. I have not counted them. I trust the guys at Heresy, or Guy. I think it's a one-man show, actually. Mostly I needed some extra bases because I add them to minis that don't have any bases, or where they are provided with integral bases only, like most Reaper minis. And there's two places that I traditionally get these. One is Hassle-Free Minis. They were out of stock at the moment, so I couldn't buy from them. And then I went to Heresy, and they are seldom out of stock. And whenever I buy something like bases or green stuff or whatever I buy from these companies, I always add a few minis just to round out the order. So if you're listening, Hassle-Free guys, you lost an order simply because you didn't have the bases in stock. But no big deal. I'll buy some more stuff from you later. I also want to mention something I picked up from a local store that I am interested in trying out. It's something called, it's this called Spider Serum from Green Stuff World. It's supposed to apparently go through the airbrush and produce a sort of spider web effect, or at least, you know, like a mass of it's probably not going to produce a neat web with clear like holes in it, like Spider-Man's web. That's not going to be possible, but it'll possibly produce like a mass of something looks like sort of like white silk. Who knows? And this is the cleaner fluid to clean out your airbrush afterwards. So yeah, if I can find the time, and I probably won't have time this week, but so what I think I'll do it. I'll try this out first on something, on some scrap pieces of whatever, just to see how it works before I try to apply some, maybe to some of my existing giant spider models. And well, we'll see how it works. Where was I? Lost my train of thought, so I had to pause the camera and restart again. That doesn't happen to me a lot. I can usually extemporize, but for some reason I blanked right now, and you don't need to listen to me stuttering and trying to find the words. Anyway, we'll see if I get around to trying this, but maybe not the coming week. But I will be back in a week from now with more stuff to show you. And until then, you can just click a like and subscribe and comment and, you know, the usual calls to action, as they say. But I'll be back next week, same time, same channel. And until then, Dakian is signing off.